Well, welcome back to the Care Show. I'm very excited to say that York and I have actually now swapped seats. I think York is a little bit more nervous about being interviewed rather than doing the interviewing. But just on a serious point, York over the years has interviewed a lot of people in the care sector and has been very gracious with his time and his company's time. So I'd like to say thank you, York, for all the hard work you've done for the care sector, for bringing people to the forefront. So yeah, a big thank you from all of us in the care sector.
You're welcome, thank you. It's, I enjoy it, so it's good fun.
Cool. So York, tell us a little bit about yourself and Five on a Bike, please.
So my name's York Woodford Smith. I'm the managing director of Five on a Bike, and what we are basically is a company that helps care homes, care suppliers with their marketing. Video is a big part of what we do, so we really think video is a really strong tool for storytelling, for getting that, building that trust. So we think the perfect sort of formula for having great sales in your organisation is reputation plus trust equals sales. So we really think that there's, like we said before, there's loads of elements to marketing, and each organisation needs a slightly different approach. So I like to really get in there and really pick away at all the different bits and say, okay, well, if we're going to spend time, money, that's money and energy. Money, I've just invented a new word. Oh, wow. I didn't think that would happen. Money, right, TM. That we want to make sure that that's being best spent as much as we can possibly understand. I think there's elements of marketing and sales where you just kind of have to be there and try it and see if it works. Shows are like that, right? Like where you're taking a bit of a gamble to hope that you meet the right person, but we know broadly overall it works as a concept, that it drives new customers, especially for suppliers. So in essence, that's what we do. But video is our core focus, but we do a whole range of sort of marketing services around care, and we specialise in the care sector. And then on the odd occasion, we work outside the care sector. For example, we work with student accommodation companies at the moment, or we've done a lot of videos for a service station company, things like that. Anyone that needs video content we can work with.
Okay. Thank you for that overview of Five on a Bike. Key question I do have to ask, because I've always wondered this and I've never had the chance to ask you. Five on a Bike, where did the name come from? What was the inspiration behind it?
You'd be surprised that I never get asked this question. So when the company's 10 years old now, which is something that I probably didn't celebrate as much as I should have, because obviously getting to 10 years is quite a big achievement for an organisation. Yeah, and it's been, COVID was right in the middle of that, so it's a bit, it's a tough 10 years. I've grown and learnt a lot, but the name basically comes from, I was a freelance director. I made films. I worked all over the world making different bits, and I wanted to start a company. So we were coming up with a list of names, me and my wife, and we went through travelling photos and waterfall productions, sunset productions, and we travelled in Vietnam, and we just had so many pictures of 5 people on a bike. We said, oh, that's funny, wrote it on the list. Bit of a weird name, but we'll put it on the list. And as we went back through the list, it just sort of stuck. And we said, well, how does it relate to video production? So you've got 5 core skills: producer, director, camera, edit, sound, that you need to make a film. So our original sort of branding was like a bike with those 5 little characters, and we had a load of branding around that. And we sort of went a bit more trendy, creative agency later on. But that's where the concept comes from. And I've got a bit of a weird name and weird company name. It starts a conversation. I think that's important.
I like it. It's very memorable, to be fair. So great name. Slightly more technical question for you. You guys obviously work on presenting the imagery within the care sector. What's your favourite type of care home to work with? What, when you go to a care home, what excites you in terms of presenting that care home?
Favourite type of care home? I think within care, there's a really big range of services that are offered. From learning disability places to rehab to elderly care. I have always liked going to elderly care homes and talking to people who are 97 and have lived this really rich, interesting lives. I remember early in my career, some really sort of foundational interviews I did with people. There's one that always sticks out to me, is a chap who was in a care home in Eastbourne, and we would ask people what their philosophy for life was. And he was sort of, my philosophy for life is that I want to leave the world a better place than I made it, and to speak with people who've had that sort of rich experience through life and then also made sort of a sensible decision to say, well, I'm 90. I know I'm going to have some, my body isn't what it used to be. And so I'm going to make a sensible decision to move into a care home because this is a good move for me, and sort of embrace that maybe last decade of your life in a way, rather than sort of hiding away and just watching lots of TV and actually trying to sort of continue to live your life. So I sort of find speaking to those people quite inspiring. I love speaking with people that work in homes and seeing the passion that they have for the care. Like, I don't think I've ever really met anyone who works in care who doesn't actually just really like it. Really likes it. Really, and you can, and it's lovely to be with those people because they just like ooze like passion, and that's what we used to be, a general corporate video production company, and it was just a bit soulless. Yeah. And when we started working with care, and you make a care video, and even if one person watches that video and it helps them make a better decision about their loved one going to a care home, it makes my heart feel nice. That warms me up. So it feels like we're doing something of value. And you don't really ever get to see that, right? We hear stories from our clients sometimes, but we know in the background these things are valuable, and it's really nice to work with good companies, and all the companies we work with are really really nice. And
I
really
agree.
good.
The people in the care sector, there's so much love given, which is amazing. And in terms of taking that forward, when you are videoing within a care group, how do you actually get their brand values across within a video? Obviously a lot of companies spend a lot of money and time in terms of understanding their core values and the brand values they want to bring to their care homes. How do you bring that live in the video? Yeah,
it's quite interesting because quite often the brand values that the head office team have made don't reflect in the way that they would like them to in the home, because I think they've done it the wrong way around. That actually they should let the values bubble up through the system. And sometimes you get a bit of a clash from that perspective, where the company wants the manager to say, our brand values are da-da-da-da-da-da-da, but it doesn't sound right because that's not the lived experience of that person. So I think while it's important to have that sort of brand story, that brand understanding, it's how you articulate that in human language and letting your teams do that. And quite often, if the company understands that there's a difference between what your brand packet says and how the person, like the manager, the assistant manager, the carer, articulates that. And that really sits well with me, where it was this one home we filmed in Essex, and the manager went, if you want to come to the best care home in Essex, come here. And we put it in the video, and we were like, the company's definitely going to take it out. They're not going to, it's too much. And they left it in because they're like, that really, we want the personality of the home to come through. So don't mistake the personality of the people in your home against your brand. Like, people can still offer loving care without saying, at X company, we offer loving care every day, through our 8-step process of loving care offer. It's hard, maybe how people articulate it differently. Often I think you could use a video as an exercise to discover, to unpack what your brand is. If I sit down and interview a manager at home, we can find out what their core values are through that interview, and then you can use that to affect your brand value. So I think, it can be a challenge, but if the company lets the people that work in the home tell the story of the home as it is, you get a much better video, you get a much better feeling, the story, and ultimately the video is about building trust. It's about me as a person viewing that video and saying, is this somewhere, my mum is really ill. Is this somewhere I'm going to trust to say, and that's what it's for. That's the idea behind it.
I think it comes across as far more authentic on that level as well. I'm seeing in the video world a lot more sort of drones. Some amazing technology with drones these days. Is there a demand for drone videoing, and how do you see that within Five on a Bike in terms of what you guys bring?
So we have a drone pilot in-house who's my dad.
Oh, excellent.
So he's our drone pilot, and we use it a bit. So I think it's a bit sort of like AI at the moment. Drones were a bit like that a few years ago. Everyone wanted, it's like, oh, can we have drones? Can we have drones? What drone does is adds value, like production value, in the same way that AI can add value to a human process. If you use a drone at the beginning to show your location, it works if your location's in a beautiful location. If you're in the middle of Luton, it's not going to work, right? It's not going to look nice. But if you've got like 4 acres of land right on the edge of like the Cotswolds or something, you might want to use drone for it. There's quite a lot of people use these fly-through drones as well, which are really good in very specific circumstances, like when you're launching a new home and things like that. So I think it adds production value. So in a movie, for example, they'll use cranes and drones and explosions and special effects to make it look better. So it adds what we would call production value to the project. But I think to do a whole project just of drones, I think you should be adding that footage to interviews, shots around the home, just to make your video look like it's better, more interesting, more visually appealing. So, yeah.
And one last question, sort of going back to the basics, if you like. Still image or video, what do you prefer?
I think you need both, really.
Right.
So I think video, if it's a choice, and Claire Holmes said, we can spend money on a video or images. I'd say, well, spend money on a video and take some images on your phone, or take some snapshot images from our things, because you need them. They're used in a different way, but we now quite often do header videos on our website. Right. So you load up the video and it starts playing immediately, and it's like maybe 4 or 5 clips that maybe show a beautiful view of your garden, one of your residents enjoying an afternoon tea, a carer laughing with a resident, and it immediately gives that story, that brand value, in a way that pictures might not. Pictures can be easier in a way because you're constructing this single scene. So you can spend a lot of time constructing a single scene for a picture, so you can get it really bespoke and you can edit it to within an inch of its life. So I think there's advantages for both, but obviously we would advocate for video. But I think you should really be having both good quality video, good quality images on your website as part of your marketing package. When someone's on a chatbot, having access to here's a really nice picture of our garden last April when it was blooming. I think your mum would really like that. I think would be valuable.
It's important.
Equally, here's a link to a video about the fete we put on last summer. So, it's about having access to the different tools.
Okay, cool. Well, York, at the beginning of this interview, I did say we wanted to thank you. And at great expense, the care sector has got together. I don't know quite how you're going to open it. It's not Christmas, so you can open it.
What I'll do is
do you want me to hold that? And a great excitement, York's now going to open this present. As I say, we did have
wrapping paper as well.
Yeah, well, it was left over from Christmas, if I'm really honest with you, York. But we did want to show you, as I say, no expense spared in terms of the full kit. You got the microphone, you got the calculator. I hope you're a fan of Peppa Pig.
Well, Peppa Pig, I'm a fan, and a nice
Chat for Business notebook. So
thank you very much.
That's my pleasure, York. Thank you, and really enjoyed it.
Thank you for interviewing me. It's been a different experience being this. I've actually quite enjoyed it. I do need a drink of water though. Dries my mouth out talking.
Thanks, York.
Thank you, Marcus. Thank you.